Let's get started in Keynote. Make sure you're in the Finder. Click on the Go menu, Applications. Type the first letter of the app that you want. I'll type a K. Happens to be Keynote. Double click to open it. The first thing that you're going to get is the chooser. It'll let you choose between a new document or other documents that you've previously created in Keynote. I want a new document. Click once. It opens the theme chooser. The theme choosers lets you see these collections of themes, and themes are just a collection of pages that are designed to work together. There's lots of different presentations that you can choose. I advise you to take your time, because while you can change it later on, you can change from showcase to briefing if you want, but differences in layout and text will cause you to have a lot of editing to do. So we'll take our time. I know that I want to do this one called My Presentation. I'm going to double click. It starts with the very first slide, which is always a title slide. And the title slide has this particular layout in this theme. So on the side in the slide layout, we see that it has a title text box. That's it right there. And a body text box. And you can make them appear or disappear just by clicking on them. Now the nice things about these is these are placeholders. If you double click on a placeholder, the text that is there will disappear. The new text that you put in, the new text, whatever you want, is exactly the same as the text that you took out. So it follows the same font, the same font size. Everything's just as it was before. So it's really just holding the place for you. This is another one, presentation subtitle. Double click, and it holds that font for you. The same thing here. Okay, so now you've got that title slide, and it's Apple. They're just boxes. You can move them around, you can play with them. We'll do more of that in a later lesson. But for right now, we know that getting us in gets us a title slide, and now we want to add another slide. If you click on Add Slide right here, it gets you a slide chooser. And remember I said that it was a collection of pages? So these are the pages that they created to go into this particular theme. So you've got, and they're not all the same. So this one you've got title and photo, title, bullets and photo. This one you have big fact. Why would you want that? I don't know. A quote. You also have blank. Every one of them will have a blank so that you can add a blank screen and do whatever you want to do. For this one, I want to show you this one. Title, bullets, and photo. Double click. So now this slide's a little bit different. It does have the title text box and a subtitle text box. It also has an author and date down here. If you don't want that, click on it one time. When it's selected, hit either the backspace or the delete button and it'll go away. Now, you can add slide number. You know what to do already with placeholders, so that you just have to double click. Well, there's another placeholder here, and that's this picture placeholder. And these are really nice things because this is a space that's predefined, just like that was, like it had the type of text and all the text formatting. So this is a picture that is exactly this size, and it also has this button, this icon here. If you click on that icon, it's going to open up a photo handler. Once you click on the photo handler, you have to wait a little while it gets the photos. And what I find is that it's going into photos to try and get your photos situated in here. And sometimes you have to wait 2 or 3 minutes. So after a few seconds, photos will show up. It'll first show you your pictures that are on your device, and also all of the albums that you have associated with the Photos album. I like this picture right here. I'm going to click one time, and what will happen is it'll replace the media that's there with the media that I chose. Now, once the media is in, remember I said it had some formatting. It's exactly that size. The picture that I took is not that size. Now, if you'll double click on the picture, you will get what's called a mask. Now, the mask lets you do things to the photograph We were lucky that this picture fit that one exactly. But I'll show you that this allows you then to zoom in. Say we want to zoom in more on the flag. And then you can adjust that picture within that frame that it's created, the opening. You can adjust the picture within the opening so that it fits. It does just what you want it to do. So with the zoom in and zoom out. The other thing you can do is click on the next button, and then these black handles here allow you to change the size of the opening. So the size of the mask, you can change the size of the mask. You can get it to wherever you want it to be. And zoom in a little bit more. Go ahead and zoom a little bit more. When you click done, you'll see that the picture has been cropped. But you didn't lose anything. If you double click, it comes back up. You can zoom back in. You don't lose any of the slide itself. Let's add another slide. Click on Add Slide. And of all of these, I want to use photos. I'm going to click on Photos 3 up. It gives me another slide. It has 3 photos laid out. All of them have the placeholder icons on them, which means you click on the icon, you wait for your pictures to show up, and you put your pictures in however you want. All right, I'll put that one over there. Now this time I just dragged it and dropped it. You can click on it and you can drag it, or you can click on it and let it do it itself, or you can drag it and drop it where you want it to go. Now another thing I wanted to show you, besides using the placeholders, was to use the placeholders and a folder of photos. I have a folder on my desktop called Keynote Photos. You can call it whatever you like. And in there are some pictures that I stuck just so they'd be easy for me to use. Now, if you are using placeholders, you can click and drag a photograph from that list, drag it in there, and it'll redo the picture. Now, what do I mean by that? If I double click on that picture, you'll see that that picture is larger than that space, but it tries to fit it in as best it can. Say, well, that's as zoomed in as I'm going to get it, and I want it to be kind of like that. I like that. Okay. So you can take pictures from your any of your photos that you have available on your desktop and just drag them in, drop them into a placeholder. Now, a reason I wanted to show you placeholders is sometimes you'll want to add a picture and there's not a placeholder. And there's a couple of options here. I'm going to just click on this picture and delete it. And then I'm going to drag a picture in like this. Come on, let me do it. Okay, so now I dragged that picture in there. It didn't put it in the placeholder because the placeholder was deleted. So you can end up with a picture that you can adjust. You can zoom in and out of it. And if you double click on it, you still get this magic slider so that you can create a mask. You scale in and out of it however you want. And when you click on done, it will have made it fit in that space that you created for it. Of course, this doesn't fit very well because I don't have it adjusted. But it's the reason that the placeholders are so helpful is that they'll allow you to bring the picture, drop the picture in, and it'll format the picture for you. Another thing you can do is you can create a photograph, create a place for your photograph, and you can go to the Format menu, Advanced, and define as a media placeholder. So if you're bringing your own pictures in, you might want to use that. That allows me then to bring another picture in and drop it into that placeholder that I just created. So you'll see that it's exactly the same size as it was before. The rest of my slides are going to be the same. So I'm going to add a new one, and I'm going to do photo 3 up, and then I like it like that, so I'm going to just keep duplicating it so I don't have to keep doing that. And you can do that from the keyboard with a Command D. Okay, so now I have all these other photo placeholders, and I can drop pictures into each one of those. that. And I can go down and keep doing that all the way down. But you get the idea, because the placeholders allow you to maintain that look of that slide. So now we want to do a slide presentation, but we need to fix it so that there's some animation between slides. So I want to go from this slide to this slide. And in my show, how does that happen? So we want to go to the animate button. We click on animate, and it shows me there is no transition. There's no transition between this slide and this slide. So we can add an effect. You want to add an effect, we can use dissolve. What does that look like? Well, it dissolved from that one to that one. If you didn't see it, you can click on preview and it'll do it again. You see that the first one fades out or dissolves and the new one comes in. Want to change it, put in something different, we'll do confetti. Now you can really see how it looks. Okay, so between that slide and that slide. So when I start, I get this slide, I need to say, all right, I want you to change, I want you to transition, but I want you to either do it when I click on it, or I want you to do it automatically. So if you're doing a show that you want to happen automatically, choose automatically. Okay, so now when I start my show, it'll go from, let me show you, from this first slide, and then automatically it went to the second slide. I haven't told it what to do after the second slide, so I'm going to hit the escape button to take me out of the slideshow, and we'll go to the second button, and we'll add transitions so that it does the show completely by itself. I have the second slide selected, and I'm going to hold down the shift key and touch the last slide. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the same transition to all these other slides. And it doesn't have to be the same as the first one. The first one was confetti, and we can make all of these drop. Okay? So that's going to happen. I'm going to drop in. So now when we go to the slideshow, I click on play. Okay, here's what I did. I had a slide selected, and it started me at that slide. So I go back here, and now I notice I didn't click on the transition, so we'll have to do it automatically. And you can delay it for 1 second, 5 seconds, however long you want to delay between slides. So now I'm going to click away from that slide, touch the first one, and touch play. The first one gives me confetti to the second one, and then the next one will drop in, and then the next one will drop in, and then the next one will drop in. So we have our slide presentation.